Hi everyone, Karen here, and I would like to welcome you to my first video featuring the products we used in Craftaganza. Now I'm going to have a video for each of the classes, and I'm going to use the materials in a different way than what we did in the class. Now this first card is going to be a 5x7, and I am going to have the colored card. This is from Hunky Dory from a while back, and I'm going to have a 4x6 on the top here, which I'm going to layer all this, and I will get to that in a minute. This is going to be a birthday card, so I have a happy birthday with a shadow. I have a 3x5 message for the inside, which is going to be layered on a 3 1/4 by 5 1/4, and it's the same paper that's going to be on the front. And a piece that I cut off when I made my card base, I'm going to use to layer inside the card, just to make it a little bit more decorative. Now, let's get to the fun part. I have the folder, which is strictly embossed. I didn't use the die. I just took a 4x6 and I ran it through the embossing folder, and I got this, and that is really pretty. It would be pretty to just even leave as white. It's a very nice card. You could do a black and white card and just leave this as white and layer it in black, and it would be beautiful. I then took 3 of the dies and ran them through the embossing folder. So I have 3 of these. These I'm going to cut away, and I am going to make this some decoupage. Now I'm hoping I can cut them all out together, so that way I don't get confused over what I've cut away. So the first thing I have to decide is where I want to start. So on this embossing folder, you can see there's extra leaves that aren't even on the die. It's these here and down here. So we have a little bit of those, but I think I want a little bit more than just that. So I think I want to cut away some of these leaves here. This is going to be the moment of truth. Let's see if I can do this all at once. Let's see. Yes, the scissors are not failing me. I can cut all this at once. So my first layer, I am going to cut away these leaves. And the reason why I'm stacking them all together is each layer is going to get smaller and smaller as I go along. So I'm going to start with this one, and then I'm going to work my way down. And every time I'll cut a little bit more away. So we have those leaves gone. And I'm thinking I will cut away this leaf here. Just like that. And let me clean that up just a little bit. There we go. Alright, so now that leaves us with this on top. I think I want to cut away these leaves on top here. And this is still watercolor paper, so I am going to watercolor this. So now we have this. And I think I will cut away the leaves down here. And let me just snip that there. And maybe that's it for the first row. The first layer. Alright, so if we look at the embossing folder, we can see now that this is all going to be on the first layer, and then this flower is going to be sitting on top. Okay, so now in this next layer, we want to cut away even more, and whatever we cut off will be pushed to the background again. So I think I want to cut this flower off, because to me that looks like that should be in the background. That's in the back. So we'll snip that off. And we'll cut it off here. And we'll cut it off here. So now that will push that flower to the background. This leaf here should probably go. And probably these two leaves up here. And that will leave the flower to be more in the foreground than the leaves. So let's see, how much have we cut off? I have cut off that flower, these leaves. I feel like I should cut something off down on this side. Let's see, we'll cut this leaf away. I'm trying to decide if I want to put the bird behind the flowers. You know, I'm kind of leaning toward putting the bird behind the... No, because the bird looks like it's in the front here. So I think I have to leave that there. So maybe that is all I want to cut from that layer. So let's layer them on top of each other so we can get a look of what this will look like. So this will all be behind. Here, let me turn this light off. This is a lot of white. Okay, that's a little bit better. So this will all be behind now. Let me move this so we can see. This will all be behind. And these leaves here will be behind. And this leaf here will be behind. Alright, so that will be on here. This will be on here. So now we have to decide, again, what we want to put in the background. So, and this will leave what we want to leave in the foreground. So whatever we cut off here, will be the last one. So let's see. I think maybe this flower should go. And I think I just want to leave these two flowers here in the foreground. So I think I'm going to cut everything else away. So I'm thinking maybe this, like that. I want to cut off the butterfly. I think I do want to take off the butterfly. Okay, so that is now all cut. Okay, so now we have to line everything up here so we can make sure we paint everything the same colors. Now this background here, I'm really not too concerned about it because everything's going to be covered except for the green leaves. And because yellow and blue make green, I feel pretty confident that I can go and put a wash across this in blue. And then go in and put my green leaves. So I have a water pen here. And I am going to spritz my paper for this one because I do want the color to flow. Now I'm going to come in with this light blue here, and oh, I am using the Sunbeam Shimmering Watercolors. So I'm going to start with this light blue down here. And I'm going to test this. Let's see. Oh, that's going to be pretty. I think I want it a little lighter. So I'm going to squeeze some on here. Let's see. Yep. That's a little bit better. Alright, so I'm going to spritz the back of this to keep it from folding up on me. Because when your paper curls on you, it's usually because it's wet on one side more than the other side. So if you dampen the back side, a lot of times it will keep it from curling up on you. See how that flattened out? Alright, so now I'm going to give this a wash. That looks good now. So I'm going to place this up here to dry. Once that's dry, I'll go back and put some green in. Alright, so now we have to decide what color we want each of these flowers. Alright, so I'm going to spritz my colors here just to get them activated and going. So I'm thinking this flower here, I want a nice shade of pink. Here again, let me see how dark this is going to be. Put a little more water in there. There we go. It's more of what I'm looking for. This is going to be the top one. So this is the one I want to take a little more care with. Adding a little shadow and a little detail in here. Make the center a little darker maybe. A little more shading. There we go, like that. Now because there is an edge around this, I want to make sure I have the edge all done. Okay, so now when I go into this layer and this layer, really I just want to make sure the ends are covered so you don't see white when I layer this up. Now this, I really don't care about the shading. I'm just going to kind of throw some water on here, some watercolor on here. I'll put a little more shading on this one. And I can always come back in when it's dry and put a little more in. Let's see. I think that's good. If I keep adding color, it's going to get too dark. Okay. That's not what I really wanted. Okay. Now we want to take the next flower, and I think we'll do this one up here. So this one, actually no, we'll stick with this one. We'll do this flower here. So this flower here, I think I want to make a purple. And I'm going to go with this light purple here. I'm going to get this going. And I'm going to bring in one of these scraps and test it. I think that will look nice. Maybe a little more water. And we'll start coloring this in. And I am going to color the white edge that's on this die. I'm not going to leave it uncolored. Alright, so we have some color on here. And mix this up a little more to get the color a little darker. Put a little shading. That's going to be the one on top. Alright, so now the ones underneath, which is, let me turn this, so that is this flower here. I just want to do the edge. Let's see. What does this look like? Well, that would be pretty. Alright, so this one's going to be this orangey color. Now this one, I think, with the way that the die cut is, I think the color is going to settle into those little crevices, so I don't think I'm going to have to worry about shading this one as much. Okay, next flower. We have this flower over here. So this flower here, I think I want to do that a light color. Maybe even white. Let's see how that even shows up. Will it make it shimmery, or is it going to be way too light? Let's see. Oh no, that's going to be pretty. It is still going to be white, but it is very shimmery. Alright. And we'll go to the next flower. Now let's do some of these green leaves. So let's pick out what green. I'm thinking this green here. Let me grab a scrap. See what this green looks like. I think that will be good. Alright. So we'll do this leaf here. This has had a little bit time to dry. Now that is all done. So now we'll do the same leaf on here. So now we want to come over here to these leaves, and maybe we'll pick up a different color green. Let's see what color this is. Doesn't look that different. Here, let's try this one here. That one's a little bit darker. So we'll make this leaf a little darker. Be very careful getting in between there. And I will color this leaf. Alright, we'll continue on with this one. Now this bird's legs are a little tricky because they're so skinny. Alright, now let me go back to this color. I'll color this stem and this leaf. Oh, that's a little too much paint. There we go. Brush is a little too wet. There we go. Put a little more color there. Okay. There's all that. So now we will color the ones on here. So that's this leaf here. So now let's look. So we have this and this. That's good. This and this. Good. This up here. All right. So now the rest of those leaves are going to be on top. So we need to paint those a little bit more carefully. So we'll take this leaf here. All right, so there's that leaf. We'll have this leaf here. And over here. All right, where else is there a leaf? We have this leaf down here. Put a little more color on that. And I believe that's all the leaves. All right, so let's talk about some of these flower centers here for a minute. I'm thinking this lovely color here. Let's test this out. That might be a little too dark. Let's try this one. Yep, I think I will go with the original one. Alright, so let's start carefully with this flower center. Okay, not going to bother coloring that one. This one will be on top, so this one needs a center. Alright, so this one I don't need to bother with, but I do need to color this center. Okay, and while I'm at it here, let's see if I can get the bird's legs in here. I need to decide what color this flower is going to be. And I'm thinking maybe a yellow. So let's color this here. And we'll just get all these colored. Make these a little darker. Alright, so let's look at what we have right now. So this will be on here, and this will be on here. So all I have left is the butterflies and the bird. Alright, so the butterflies, let's put some, let's see, what color butterflies? let's see, so the butterflies will be on top on this one here. So let's put a little purple on this butterfly. And then come in with a little pink. This. Maybe bring in just a little bit of yellow. It's going to sit in the recessed areas. All right, I think that looks good. Now the bigger butterfly, I think we'll bring in some of the yellow up here. Maybe bring in a little blue. And let's see, how brown is this? Maybe a little bit of brown. I'm going to fill the holes here with a little brown. And we'll bring that out. There you go. Now for underneath, I'm just going to take this one and just make it all pink. That should be good for that. And for the other one, I will put some yellow on the top. And then bring in the brown. All right, now let's look and see what we have now. All right, so that is coming along. All I have left is the bird. I may need to go put in a little bit more color here. That looks a little muddy. You wash that out a little bit. Pick that up. And put in a little more of the blue. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, that's better. So now the birds. Now we have to decide what we're going to do with this bird. So first I want to make its bill orange. Let's see. The one on top is going to be this one here. So we'll put that orange. Orange. Okay, so we'll put a little brown down here. a little brown in its tail feathers. And then I'm going to come in with some blue, I think. Alright, so there's its wing. Here's the body. Let's go to the tail feathers. That brown underneath should make it a little bit darker. If not, I can come back in. Put a little more brown in there. There, like that. Blend that in. And come back with the blue. And once this is dry, I'll go in and draw in its eye. That is very wet. So let me dab that a little bit. Alright, I think I will leave that be. So over here, I will just quickly do it blue. This one will be underneath. Yeah, that looks good. So let me just come in and do the middle of the butterflies with this black. So here's the butterfly. Let me dry my brush off a little bit. It's a little wet. There we go. And center of this butterfly. So this one here is going to sit like this. So these leaves here I have to color green. So I'm just going to come in with the green. And I think that's it. Let's check it. Yep, that's it. Alright, now it is time to let everything dry. Alright, so let's talk about the inside of the card while that dries. So I have the 3x5, I have the 3 1/4 by 5 1/4, and I have my little strip here. So this will get glued onto here. Blank. So this is going to go on the inside, but I want to put this little strip in here just to make it a little bit more something. See how just by putting that scrap you probably would have thrown away? By just putting that little scrap in there, you really do dress up the inside of your cards. So this is 1 inch by 7. here. Yeah, and this will go on here. Now when I put this down, I'm going to hang it over here about a half an inch. Alright, so the inside of the card is done. Alright, let's see if this is dry. It's not too bad. Alright, so I'm going to glue this to the green, just the same green that was on the inside of the card. Make sure I have good contact here. This is embossed, there's a lot of crevices here. So now we have a decision. So we can either just stack these up, and they will look like this. Or we can put some thin foam. I'm going to go with some thin foam. It's going to be 1/16 thick, so it won't raise it too much, because I will put a layer in here and here, so it won't be too thick. Alright, now this is 1/16 foam, so the two layers together will still only have it as thick as a shaker card. So we'll put one piece here and one piece here. I will attach that here. Make sure we're all lined up. So see, it doesn't add that much thickness, but it adds enough. Now you could also give these a little curve as you go. Give it a little bit more of a dimension. Doesn't look so flat. There we go. So now I can put this on here, and I will just put small pieces in the centers here. Now we'll line up the bird and these leaves down here. Make sure we're nice and even. And here we go. Right, so now we just need to lay this on the card. So now I think this might be enough dimension, and I think I'm just going to glue this one down. So now we're going to match it up to underneath. There we go. Alright, so this gets glued to the front of the card, and then all we have to do is put the happy birthday on the front. Now, I have a little happy birthday here. That is something I printed on my computer, because that's generally what I do. I'll print out a whole sheet of these with shadows, and then I'll keep them in a little bag and use them when I need them. So now I need to decide where I want to put this. I'm thinking up here, because this is the flattest part of the card. I also need to decide what color I want to color this. So I am thinking this pinky color. Alright, so I'm going to take the marker, the fuchsia that was in the kit, and I am just going to color around the outside of this. Alright, now I have some other 1/16 thick foam that is only 1/4 of an inch wide. So I am going to put that on here. Like that. Kind of force it along the shape of the happy birthday here. Okay, get this lined up. I think I will put that just like that. And I'll keep this flat because I want the flower to be the most predominant thing here. So I think right about here. So there we go. Class 1 materials in a slightly different way. I mean, I still use the die and the embossing, but cutting it all up and making it an embossing fold, making it decoupage. So I hope you liked this card. If you did, give me a thumbs up, because that is indeed how YouTube counts everything. And I hope you enjoy this whole series of cards, because I will have a video for every class. And until next time, stay crafty.